Welcome to HortTube. My name is Jim Putnam. In this video, I'm going to be planting some White Squill spring flowering bulbs. They're not truly white. They have a little bit of a blue tint to them, but they're quite beautiful. It's a bulb that'll naturalize. They're hardy in zone 4 to 8. They like well-drained soil, just like any other bulb you've seen me put in my yard. This is a nice sloped area right here, so they'll be perfect in this space. They get about 6 inches tall. And then I've got some snowdrops, and snowdrops stay a little smaller than that. And I'm going to put those in front. And they'll look beautiful together when they come up in the spring. This is a very sunny spot until this tree leaves out. And so they'll be in full sun while they're blooming, and then they'll get some shade on them while they still have some foliage later. That should be fine for both of them. I'm going to be putting them in with my auger bit on my drill. There's some roots in this space, and this auger can definitely snatch one of these roots and stop pretty quickly. I had someone point out on one video the other day, a drill with a handle on the side of it would definitely be preferable to use, and probably would not hurt you as bad. Both of these bulbs go down about 3 inches, so quick and easy to plant. The White Squill is definitely deer resistant, which is great as well. I'm going to This will dig about a 3-inch wide hole. I'm going to put about 2 bulbs in each hole is how I'm going to do it. Squill goes in the back, snowdrops go in the front. So there's all my holes prepared. This is the White Squill bulb, so you can get an idea of the size of them. They're about 1 inch wide or so, and they'll just colonize this space over time. I'm going to set them in there, the pointy end up, 2 of them in each hole, and cover them up, pack them in. I'll water this space in. The back 3 or 4 rows of holes here will be the squill, and then I'll do the snowdrops in front. Snowdrops are very tiny bulbs. It's best to put snowdrops in as soon as you receive them or as soon as you purchase them. They don't dry store very well. I've had these for a little while, and I should have gotten them in the ground already. I just haven't had time, had other things going on. But the spacing on both of these is about 3 inches. The snowdrops will only end up getting about 3 or 4 inches in height, and the squill will end up getting more like 5 or 6 inches in height. But both of these will colonize this space over time and come back every season. Even the foliage is nice on these. So I got them in. I put 3 snowdrops in every hole and 2 of the White Squill. White Squill blooms super early, like earlier than crocus, probably the first thing that's going to flower in my yard every year. The snowdrops will be slightly behind it. The snowdrops will end up staying slightly smaller than the squill, but both are super, super easy and just will naturalize, in this space and put on a big giant show every very early spring before other things start waking up. They're both hardy in zone 4 to 8, and as long as they're in well-drained soil, just no problem. You can fertilize them in the late winter, early spring. You can wait till after they flower if you want to, and then fertilize them at that time. They'll be finishing flowering about the time I'm fertilizing the rest of my yard, so I'll do it all at the same time. If you ever want to dig these up and move them around, it's probably best to do it while they still have the foliage on them. You can wait in the late spring, even maybe a month or so after they finish blooming. Allow them the foliage, that long to build some energy back into the bulb. But they're almost impossible to find in the fall if you were going to try to dig them up and divide them at that time of year. So I would do it while they still have the foliage on them, but give them a few weeks after they flower. On to the next project. So a couple months ago, I put up a video where I was planting this annual ryegrass. It's come up and it's looking pretty good. It's about ready for the first mowing. I let it get up pretty high, and then I mow it on the highest setting on my mower. That's got to be done here in the next few days. We're expecting snow here in a couple days. I don't know if it'll be any accumulation in my area back toward the western part of North Carolina. It's supposed to be quite a bit. I'm going to plant, I had some daffodils left over from the daffodil video I put up a couple days ago. I'm actually going to plant them in this basket, and then I'm going to plant pansies on the top of that. That's going to go on the porch. I'm planting 6 pansy hanging baskets, but I'm just going to get the pansies established in them while it's still cold in December and January. I'm just going to leave them as just kind of potted plants, and then I'll attach the ropes to them and hang them in February. So February, March, April, May, they'll look great hanging up here on my front porch. In the meantime, I just want to get them rooted in and keep them near the house and keep them from staying frozen solid for too long. They're tough as nails, but hanging up in the air frozen, it won't do them any good at all. So I'm just going to keep them right up against the house. Let me show you a couple other changes I got to make on the porch. So everything up here is looking pretty good. All of these projects that I've done videos on here recently, that golden Oakland holly looks great, and these carex look great, but these mums are bloomed out. So these top 2 shelves on this rack are just going to be the potted pansies for the next few weeks, and this mum that's in that pot right there is done, and I'm going to replace it with this rebor kale right here, and I've got this other flowering ornamental kale right there that's going to replace that mum that's right there. And this empty spot on this table will be where that basket with the daffodils and the pansies go. So time to get to work. I'll just fill this basket up until there's about 5 inches of space left at the top. I already had some in there. These were actually some of the soils left over from my lettuce bowls I had on the front porch. So here's the leftover lettuce right there. It'll go to the compost bin. So these daffodils will just end up about 5 inches deep, just like they did over there in the ground, pointy end up, and I'll space them evenly. I can just unload them in there and then space them evenly. Quick and easy. They're all just pointing upward, about evenly spaced, about 5 inches down, and then I can pour my potting soil directly on the top of that, just like that. Spread it out evenly, tamp it down just a bit, and then I've got some pansies. These pansies have had too much rain on them, and they've been under some leaves as well, but they'll wake up really quickly with some space and some sunlight and look great. This is the Delta Lavender Blue Shades. This is a beautiful mix of blues and lavenders, whites, purples, that kind of thing. I'll put these in here maybe 4 inches apart, something like that. I don't know how many pieces this will end up being. This is about maybe a 16-inch wide basket, something like that. Maybe 18. Get these leaves out of there. So I've got about 10 daffodil bulbs in here, and I'm going to end up with 7 pansy plants. That's it. And this is going to go to the front porch. Same thing on these hanging baskets. Potting soil in. You want to leave a little space at the top always for a water reservoir. You never want to fill these pots all the way to the top. Otherwise, when you water, the water will run off the edge and it won't go down through your soil. So about an inch, tamp down. I think I'll put 5 in each of these. Kind of a square around the outside and 1 in the center, I think, is the appropriate number. But I'll go ahead and get these 6 baskets done. So I've been out here working long enough that the sun has burnt the clouds off, and now it's bright and sunny out here, but you can see these get a lot of direct light from the south, and they should fill in nicely over the next couple months before I turn them into hanging baskets. I'm out of pansy fertilizer. I've got to order some from Amazon. I'll link some below, but these definitely need some fertilizer. They're off color. I've had them out here in the yard for weeks, and the rest of the stuff is looking pretty good. I got that kale replaced in there. There's the basket with the daffodils and the pansies in it. Again, that's going to need to be fertilized as well. And then over here, same thing. I got that red ornamental kale put into that one as well. So thank you very much for watching this video, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for upcoming content.